Right, hello everyone, and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. I hope you're well today and having a great day. And apologies for my lateness, and I have to say, in my opinion, lateness is definitely not greatness. So I do apologise. So yeah, and just a few bit annoying technical issues, but there you go. That's life, I guess. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get into it. I hope that you're all well. We've got one person in the chat already, and that is Danny. And Danny is saying, can't wait for the season to begin. I'll be on holiday then, but I can't wait to see football. Yeah, me too, buddy. And it's lovely to see you, mate. I hope that you're well. I hope you're having a great day, and nice to see that you're going to have some downtime soon. Very much deserved, in my opinion. So, yeah, big up to you, and it's lovely to see you. So thanks very much for joining us. And, yeah, I hope you enjoy the show. So let's get into it. So today it's the Match Day Live show, and we're going to be looking at the Scottish League Cup, the same as we did last week. So I'm excited about that. Now, I just want to let everyone know that I'm absolutely delighted that I finally managed to get this man on my YouTube channel. It's the one, the only, the legendary, and that word is used far too often in my opinion, but in this case it's true, the legendary king of Instagram, his very self, the mighty, the one and the only Darren Sullivan. So please, guys, if you haven't checked him out already on Instagram, go and do it. He's not got a YouTube channel, and I wish he would, because he'd be absolutely superb at it. But he does his stuff through Instagram, and he uploaded a video there last night, very late. I've decided to christen it After Dark Conversations with Darren, because it is wild. Honestly, it is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. So make sure you go and check that out, because it was brilliant. And then this one, please. This is Del Boy's latest upload. It happened on Thursday night, and it was a fantastic show. I was supposed to be on it, and I appeared about half an hour late. But yeah, it was a brilliant show, and there's a lot of chat on there about the upcoming season and pre-season and signings and stuff like that. So it's very, very interesting. So go and make sure you go and check it out, because Del Boy is an absolute legend in my opinion, and he deserves all the support that he can get. And until I've got breath in my body, I will give him any bit of support that he wants, because I think he deserves it. He's a top man. He's a great mate, and I love him to bits. So there you go. That's my opinion about it. Anyway, so let's get into this. There is something else that I want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about that in once I've gone through all these slides, because that's just the way I want to do it. But there will be touching on something else unrelated to today's events, but we will be talking about it. So the format for the tournament, as I went through last week, the competition begins with 8 groups of 5 teams. Those 5 teams only play each other once in the group, by the way. It's not home and away. They have 4 games, and they play. Each team plays each other once. The 5 Scottish clubs who will initially be competing in this upcoming season in European competition are going to receive a bye to the second round. And that reminds me, today Celtic are playing a friendly against Wolverhampton Wanderers in Dublin at the Aviva Stadium. And I can imagine that ground is absolutely rocking, despite the absolutely ridiculous and crazy prices that they're charging. But I reckon it's rocking. And as we speak, Celtic are 1-0 up. So come on, the boys, get the job done. Fantastic stuff. So in the first round, it comprises of 40 teams, which all of the teams who compete, which are all the teams that competed in the SPFL in the 2022-23 season, except the 5 teams who, like I said, are going to receive a bye to the second round because they're competing in European competition. And the Highland League champions, Brecon City, and the Lowland League Football League champions, the Spartans. Now, the winners of each of the 8 groups, as well as the 3 best runners-up, will progress to the second round for the last 16, as well as those 5 teams that had a bye to the second round. And then from the second round, the tournament will work on a traditional knockout basis. The 3 group winners with the highest points total and European entrants will all be seeded. So there's big incentive there. Now, the other interesting thing is about the way the points are awarded for these group matches. I find it quite interesting anyway. The traditional point system of awarding 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw is used for games played in the group stage. And then in addition, for each group stage match that finishes in a draw, a penalty shootout takes place when the winner being awarded a bonus point. So basically, in the group matches, if there's a draw, there's going to be a penalty shootout, and the team who wins the penalty shootout will get an extra point. So I think that's really interesting. I like that idea, I have to say. And then for the group stage, the teams are seeded according to their league position in the 2022-23 season. So there you go. I hope that all makes sense. These are the teams that are competing in the group stage. I'm not going to read all those teams out, but I'll let you have a quick look at those. And then that's the other lot. So you can see all the sides that are competing there in the group stage. And like I say, there's 40 of them. And so these are the group tables. So like I say, like I've just said with the other ones, I'm not going to read all of these out. I'll let you see what's what. Group A, Ayr United atop, and Stirling Albion the second. And in that group as well, St Johnstone, Alloa Athletic, and Stenhouse Muir, they've already been knocked out. Dundee United are top of Group B, Partick Thistle are second, and they're still very much in the balance there. Any one of those 5 clubs can still qualify. The same in Group C, where Hamilton Academicals lead the way and Livingston are second. Then in Group D, you've got Ross County and Greenock Morton. And there's still a lot to be decided there. Kelty Hearts, who've only been in the SPFL for a couple of years now, they're still in the hunt. But Stranraer and Edinburgh City, they've been knocked out. Group E, Airdrieonians and Dumbarton lead the way currently. Inverness, Caledonian Thistle and Bonnyrigg Rose have both been eliminated. Dundee still have a chance to progress, but we'll see what happens there. I think they have to win today, otherwise they're out. And then in Group F, we've got Dunfermline Athletic and Kilmarnock. But Kilmarnock have 2 games in hand over the past there, so it's anything could happen there. And then Raith Rovers still in the hunt as well. That would be an interesting one because them and Dunfermline are big rivals up in Fife. And then Albion Rovers and East Fife have both been knocked out already, so that's then done. And then in Group G, we've got Motherwell and East Fife leading the way, and Elgin City have been eliminated, and it's still up for grabs for Queen of the South and Queen's Park as well. And then finally, Group H, we've got Forfar Athletic, are leading the way from St Mirren, and St Mirren did fairly well last season in the Premiership, so it's a bit of a shock that really. Montrose are still in the shout as well for qualifying to the second round, but Cowdenbeath and Arbroath have already been eliminated. So this is the last round of group matches this week, and then after that it goes to the knockout round. So today's 3 p.m. kickoff. So in Group A, we've got Ayr United against Alloa Athletic, St Johnstone against Stirling Albion. In Group B, we've got Falkirk against Peterhead and Partick Thistle versus the Spartans. Group C, we've got Hamilton Academicals versus Cove Rangers, and then Livingston against Clyde. And in Group D, we've got Greenock Morton versus FC Edinburgh, Ross County against Kelty Hearts. Group E, we've got Bonnyrigg Rose versus Airdrieonians. And Group F, we've got Albion Rovers against Kilmarnock and Annan versus Raith Rovers. And then Group G, we've got Motherwell against East Fife, Queen's Park against Queen of the South in Group G. And then Group H, finally, the last group, we got Arbroath against Montrose and St Mirren against Forfar Athletic. So these are the 4 games, the key games, the Warren's Team Talk fixture picks for this week. And it's St Mirren against Forfar Athletic, Motherwell against East Fife, Falkirk against Peterhead, and Hamilton Academical against Cove Rangers. And the lineups and formations for those 4 games. So here we go. Let's start with St Mirren against Forfar Athletic. And I'm just going to put that to full screen. These are the lineups for St Mirren and Forfar. So St Mirren have Hemming, Fraser, Gogic, Taylor, Strain, Bacchus, O'Hara, Tanza, McMenamin, Mandron, and Nahmani, and Forfar. I can't even. Oh, maybe I've got McCallum. I think that's Notty, Brindley, Allen, Morrison is captain. I think that's his Scully. Hold on, I'm just going to bring the screen a bit closer so that I can actually see what's going on there. I think that's his. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to butcher it. I think it says Skelly, but I'm not sure. Wheatley, Inglis, Ross, Hutchinson, and Robson. And then the formations, St Mirren are going with a 4-3-3 and Forfar are going with a 4-4-2. So, yeah, the Forfar team was Olayemi, Ross, Goldie, Strachan, Duthie, Brown, McCarthy, and Ward, Shanks, and O'Keefe. What I don't know is whether those 2 Strachans are related in any way, shape, or form. I really don't know. Then we've got Motherwell against who are they playing again? Can't even remember. Motherwell. I ain't got a clue. I can't remember. It's shocking, isn't it? Hold on. Motherwell against East Fife. Motherwell's lineup is Oxborough, McGinn, his captain, McGarby, Casey, Blaney, Square, Slattery, Miller, Spittle, Payton, and Wilkinson. And then East Fife's team is Fleming, Newton, Page, McManus, Shepherd, Troughton, Healy, Nicol, Doherty, Walls, and Easton. And the starting lineups for those are Motherwell starting with a 3-4-1-2, and East Fife starting with a traditional 4-4-2. And then we now move on to Falkirk against Peterhead. Falkirk's lineup is Long, Lang, McCann, McGinn, Donaldson, Morrison, Spencer, Agerman, Yates, McIver, and Oliver. And Peterhead's team is Ollie Lemmy, Strachan, Goldie, Strachan. That's it. It's not the right one, is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. O'Keefe, Shanks, Ward, Brown, Buffy, and Ross. And there are the starting lineups. Falkirk are going with a 4-3-3, and Peterhead are going with a 4-4-2. I think I may have messed something up somewhere, but a bit late in the day now to do anything about it. But I'm sorry about that if I have. Then we'll go to Hamilton Accies against Cove Rangers, and the Accies are going with Smith, Londridge, Kilday, Barjonas, O'Hara, McDonald, Winter, Tate, Tumulty, and Hendry. And Cove Rangers, they're going for Suman, Jones, Scully, Niang, Gillingham, McGowan, who's captain, Burrell, Connell, Kerr, Golding, and Gallagher. And the starting formations for those are Hamilton are going with a 4-3-3, and Cove are going with a 3-4-1-2. So that's that. So let's get back into put myself back on screen so you can all see me, and let's get back into the chat. So there's quite a few chats in here, so let's go through the chats and then I'll go say what it was that I wanted to say. Well, I'm well, thank you, Warren, says Danny. I'm glad to hear that, mate, and nice to see. Early Doors Football TV says, afternoon, Warren. Hi, Tony. I hope you're well, mate. It's lovely to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. He says, afternoon to Danny. And Danny's saying, good afternoon, Tony. So it's nice to see people are chatting. Del Boy Gunner says, hello, Warren. Lovely to see you, Del Boy. I hope you're well, mate. And I hope you liked the shout out I gave your show that you did on Thursday. Brilliant show, by the way, everyone. Make sure that you go and watch that. Also, make sure that you go and subscribe to Early Doors Football TV as well. Tony's a top lad and lovely fella. And Early Doors says, big up, Del Boy. And Del Boy's got a hand pink waving. Fair play. And Joanne Smith says, hello, Warren, my lovelies. Hi, Joanne. I hope you're well. I hope the cat's doing okay as well. And Early Doors says, hello, Joanne. And Danny says, big up, Del Boy. That photo at the beginning of your video was funny. Yes, it was. It was wild. I loved it. Del Boy Gunner, how Joanne has the kittens. And Del Boy Gunner says, thanks, Danny. And Danny's got 2 laughing emojis. And Early Doors Football TV, I agree with Danny. Del Boy, that's what's the bleeding story. Danny's got put some laughing comments in. And Del Boy Gunner says, all good, Tony. Game Killer is here as well. And Arsenal 11 versus Boreham Wood at 3 p.m. Nice one. I didn't know about that. Fair play. Early Doors Football TV said, Del Boy, when you doing a show next? And Warren, it's good to see you're feeling better, says Early Doors. Yeah, I'm grand, mate. Thank you very much. Dan says, hello, Warren. Long time no see. Yeah, I hope you're good, mate. Lovely to see you. Glad to see you've escaped from prison today. How have you been? Yeah, I've been well, mate. And you? I hope that you've been well as well, and that the prison wardens are treating you well. And Early Doors Football TV, hit the like button, people. Yes. Absolutely. Please, guys, hit that like button if you don't mind. I really appreciate that if you could do that for me. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you wouldn't mind as well, and share the content around as well. And please make sure you do that for all the channels that are in the chat, like Early Doors Football TV, Del Boy Gunner TV, and Tony Claude Gunner TV. Tony Claude Gunner TV is there. Haha, came to support my big brother Warren. Lovely to see you, Tony. Thank you so much for coming in, my man. And please, guys, go and make sure you check out this guy's channel as well. Absolute top man, brilliant content, and yeah, he's a lovely, lovely fella. Really, really nice guy. He does excellent work as well with the Southern Gooner, which is brilliant. And Tony Claude says, big up, Warren. Big up to yourself as well. And thanks for coming on the channel. Big up, Early Doors, he says. And Early Doors says, big up, Tony Claude TV. Hope you're well, sir. Game Killer, £80 for Monaco tickets on Wednesdays. Disgraceful. Well, what can I say? I'm not surprised. That's all I can say about that. Good opportunity to make some money, I suppose. But there you go. Tony Claude Gunner TV says, big up, Del Boy. Taib Hussain says, hi, Warren. Hi, Tony. Hi, Taib. I hope you're well. I hope you didn't miss my awful attempt at some pronunciations earlier. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm sure you were laughing your socks off. Anyone who doesn't know, Taib is the channel's resident linguist. So he always has a good chuckle when he hears me reading out the team sheets. And he's also an amazing comedian, is Taib. Absolute legend. Tony Claude Gunner TV says, big up, Taib. Legend. Yeah, he is a legend in my book. Big up, Tony Claude. How are you, bro? Says Taib. And then Early Doors Football TV. Just seen that Wrexham's game in Philadelphia. The fans had to take cover due to major thunderstorms. Oh, dear. That's not good, is it? It's a bit of a worry. Tony Claude, big up, Game Killer. I remember once I was at Hartlepool watching Hartlepool take on Maidstone in the old English 4th Division, and there was about, I don't know, 100 Maidstone fans in the away end, and it started absolutely lashing down with rain. I think it was February. The ground's right literally across the road from the North Sea. The wind was blowing a gale. It was freezing cold. Then it started raining just to add insult to injury. So us 100 all took shelter in the toilet that was the back of the terrace. And there was so few of us, we all fitted into the toilet. 100 of us into a little toilet. It was absolute madness. Early Doors Football TV game suspended. Well, the Maidstone Hartlepool game was suspended. I'll tell you, Maidstone ended up losing the game 4-1. It was unbelievable, absolute carnage. Big ups, Danny, says Tony Claude Gunner TV. Taib Hussain, what do you call the fastest sailboat in the world? You say boat. Yeah, exactly. Smash the lights, guys, says Tony Claude Gunner TV. Yes, people, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button and smash those likes for me. Game Killer says, hi, Tony. And Early Doors Football TV says, hello, Game Killer. And Tony Claude Gunner says, big up, Joanne Smith. And Tony Claude Gunner says, please smash the likes. Thank you, Tony. That's it. You tell them, mate. Keep that like button reeling around like a boxer that's on the verge of getting knocked out. Keep slapping it, smacking it, caressing it, killing it, whatever you need to do to get that thing slapped. Game Killer, hi, Early Doors, he says. And it's brilliant to see you guys all chatting. That really makes me happy. Dan says, finished prison now. We're until September. Currently stuck in Manchester Airport. Oh my good God. I hope you're off to somewhere nice, mate. And that you enjoy wherever it is that you're going. And Danny says, big up Tony Claude. Yeah, big up Tony Claude. He's an absolute legend. So, anyway, that's enough of that. And I just wanted to address something, to be honest. Oh dear. Why do I have to keep talking about these things? It's a bit fucking... Honestly, it really grates me that I have to spend wasting my time on this negativity. And so basically what it is, guys, is I've heard someone, I'm not going to mention their name, I'm not going to give them the publicity that that this would give them by saying this, but I saw someone giving out about fans yet again being negative for wanting the club to be successful, for Arsenal Football Club to be successful, and complaining about people saying that this person was complaining, saying that people were saying that people shouldn't get behind the team, or that they should get behind the team, something like that. And they were saying that these fans were being way too negative and it was bang out of order and all this nonsense. Listen, I think I know what show this person is referring to. And if it is the people that were on that show making comments, weren't saying don't get behind the team. I don't think I heard anyone on that show say once, don't get behind the team. And I don't think I've ever heard one of them say, don't get behind the team. Not once. But yet this person has got this bee in their bonnet about getting behind the team. And to be honest, I'm fucking sick of it, to be honest. I think it's childish, it's immature, it's divisive. And I know why the person's doing it, but they're not going to succeed. So if I were you, mate, I would just get your camera, put it in a box, pack it away, sell your laptop, because this ain't what YouTube's all about. I don't understand why you feel the need to tell other people how they should be supporting their football club. It's none of your business, right? If people think there's issues at their football club, then they're going to voice them. So just get off people's cases. Stop behaving like a petulant child. Stop trying to dictate to people about what they should do, what they shouldn't do. Stop telling people as well that they should pack up doing YouTube and bullying people and harassing people. So yeah, just knock it on the head. Yeah. It's immature and it's pathetic and it's childish. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to say who it was, but I also saw another person going on about another person, an Arsenal fan, going on about fans being negative and whatnot. And this particular person was even just as recently ago as May, was sitting there asking and demanding and questioning why fans weren't booing the team after the last home game of the season against Notts Forest. And now there they are having a go at people because they think they're being negative. Well, can't get much more negative than booing your team in the ground, I hasten to add, after a game. So which one is it? Honestly, this person needs to figure out, this particular person needs to figure out what it is that they want. And to me, they sound a bit confused because it doesn't make any sense. It's a bit mad, to be honest, but there you go. That's their opinion and they're entitled to their opinion. And if that's what they think, that's fine. But don't go around. These people, like I said, they should just stop trying to force their opinions onto other people. And probably the best thing to do, if you can't do that, is to pack up your internet and you pack up your laptop and put your camera away and stop putting stuff up on YouTube. End of story. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. But there you go. That's that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I just need to check something on here and then we can get started with the show. So just bear with me a sec because there's been a few goals already. So I'm sorry about that, guys, but we'll get into it in a second. So let's just do this, and because I just want to check something. I just want to check something. Yeah. Okay. Right, that's fine. No problem there. So let's close that. So let's get back into it. Right. Okie doke. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share. What am I doing? Share the screen and do that. And here we go, as they say. As Fabrizio Romano says, here we go. Here we go. And here we do go. And yeah. So let's get that up. Right. So there's, like I said, there's been a few goals already. And let's go back here. And okay, so so far in Group A, there's been a goal at St Johnstone, and St Johnstone are not having a happy time of it in this League Cup this year, that's for sure. They're losing 1-0 at home to Stirling Albion, so it's currently St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion. So let's see what's going on there. So St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion 1. The goal was scored by Spence in the 11th minute, and it was assisted by Cummins. And so basically, Greg Spence of Stirling Albion had a header from the centre of the box to the bottom left corner, and that was assisted by Adam Cummins, no less. So also in Group B is currently Falkirk 0, Peterhead 1. Let's go and check that out. But before we do that, let's do this. So here we go. It's Falkirk 0, Peterhead 1. O'Keefe scored in the 6th minute and Shanks got the assist. And Falkirk 0, Peterhead 1. Connor O'Keefe, Peterhead, right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom right corner, assisted by Kieran Shanks. And there we go. So Peterhead 1-0 up at Falkirk. In Group C, it's currently Hamilton Academicals 1, Cove Rangers 0. The goal was scored by O'Hara in the 13th minute. And let's see how that goal went in. And Hamilton Academical 1, Cove Rangers 0. Kevin O'Hara, Hamilton Academical, had a left-footed shot from very close range to the bottom left corner. So it's currently Hamilton Academical 1, Cove Rangers 0. So there we go. In Group D, there's been a goal there as well. And the men from Dingwall have taken the lead against Kelty Hearts. It's Ross County 1, Kelty Hearts 0. Ross County has scored through Sims in the 13th minute, and that goal was assisted by Dehandra. And Josh Sims, Ross County, right-footed shot from outside the box to the bottom right corner, assisted by Jan Dehandra. So there we go. That's that. Let's see what's going on. Group E is Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Airdrieonians 0. Any games that I don't mention, it just means that it's goalless. So Group F, there's 2 goals in Group F. And it's currently Albion Rovers 0, Kilmarnock 1. Findlay has given Kilmarnock lead in the 7th minute, and that goal was assisted by Armstrong. So let's see what happened there. Stuart Finlay from Kilmarnock, left-footed shot from the centre of the box to the high centre of the goal, assisted by Daniel Armstrong following a set piece. So that's that, and let's get the celebration. And let's get back to it. And the next one, in the next game, Annan Athletic against Raith Rovers. There's been a goal there as well, and it's gone to Raith Rovers. So it's Annan Athletic 0, Raith Rovers 1. The goal scorer there was Watson in the 11th minute, and it was assisted by Stanton. And what happened there was that Keith Watson of Raith Rovers had a header from the centre of the box to the high centre of the goal, and that was assisted by Sam Stanton with a cross following the corner. So there we go. Raith 1-0 up at Raith Rovers. So Raith 1-0 up at Annan Athletic, I should say. Sorry. In Group G, both games are currently goalless. That's Motherwell against East Fife and Queen's Park against Queen of the South. And then in Group H, we've got 3 goals. Wow. Our cup runneth over. Arbroath against Montrose. It's currently Arbroath 1, Montrose 0. After the goal came from McIntosh in the 12th minute. And McIntosh from Arbroath had a right-footed shot from very close range to the centre of the goal. So it's Arbroath 1, Montrose 0. And then let's go back. And then let's do this. And then in Group H, the final game in Group H, it's St Mirren 2, Forfar Athletic 0. Currently there, and Mandron has scored twice inside the first 19 minutes, and coincidentally, Strain has got both assists. So both of them are doing well for St Mirren this afternoon, and the first one, Michael Mandron, had a header from close range to the bottom right corner, and that was assisted by Ryan Strain with a cross following the corner. And then the second one, again from Michael Mandron, he had a left-footed shot from very close range to the bottom left corner, and again that was assisted by Ryan Strain. So there we go. St Mirren 2-0 up at home to Forfar in the first 19 minutes. And I think that's that, actually. I don't think there's any other scores. No, I think we're up to date. So, yeah, I'm just double checking. Yes, any games I haven't mentioned, it just means that there's no goals there. So there we go. So let's go back into the chat and see what's going on there. And Tave said, how did the French fry propose to the hamburger? He gave her an onion ring. Right. See, this is what I mean about the man, Taib. He's an absolute legend. These jokes are wild. It really is. And Early Doors says, Warren, those are probably the same fans that complained that West Ham never included the Arsenal FC name when we did our departing for Rice. Gives delusional some truth to all fans. Gives delusional some truth to all fans. And mate, I can't say that I disagree with you. I just find the whole thing bizarre. And that business with the Declan Rice sell and about how West Ham announced it, I just found it bizarre and really disrespectful. Who the hell are they to turn around to West Ham and tell them how they can make an announcement about a player who was with their club going to another club? I just find it outrageous. Tony Claude says, but this is so very simple. If the team is doing well, give them praise. And if there are things that are going wrong, you do have the right to critique to get your club on their toes. 100%, mate. But some people don't see it that way, unfortunately. And like I said, no one, not me, not Fred down the street, not Joe up the corner. Nobody in this world has got the right to tell somebody else how to support their football team or any sport team for that matter. It's just completely wrong. 100% it's wrong. And yeah, these people need to wind their necks in, as the great man Manny says. Early Door says, 100% Tony, everyone are entitled to their own opinion regardless if the team is winning, losing or drawing. Certainly can't always be invincibles. Yeah, 100%, mate. Danny, facts, Tony Claude, results business. Yeah, it is. And that's it. End of story. And Game Killer, Arsene Wenger statue unveiling ceremony is on Wednesday morning. Ridiculous. Well, there you go. I want to know what's happening to George Graham's statue and Bertie Mee's statue for that matter. And, you know, I'm sorry, it's just not on. And every other manager that's won trophies at this club, you know, I'm sorry, I don't get it. I've just stolen loads of swimming pool inflatables. I'd better lie low. Exactly, Joanne. Be careful. Keep yourself undercover. And Early Doors, laughing emojis, Joanne. And Ty says Arsene Wenger shouldn't have got a statue for causing fans a lot of pain during the end of his tenure. Man is a fool of the highest order. Yeah, Taib's not a big fan of Mr. Wenger, that's for sure. So, yeah. There you go. So Taib's not convinced. What does everyone else think? Do you think he deserves a statue or not? And why does everyone all of a sudden need a statue? I don't get it. You know, otherwise there'd be no room for anything else. There'd just be loads and loads of statues outside the ground. Joanne says, I want one of George too, next to Arson. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? I would like to have in a serious matter, I'd like to suggest that they have a Legends walk or something like that, like a place where people can walk down and just look at statues of people and whatnot. I think that would be pretty cool. The Legends walk or something, I don't know. Something like that, just a thing that where people can walk down this path and either side there's statues of greats and famous people from the club's past. That would be wild. Danny says, Tony, West Ham did it the right way. Why mention somebody else? Yeah, what do they need to? I just don't get it. Early doors football TV. Totally agree, Joanne. He set a standard. George Graham. Yeah, and he also, interestingly, he said, if you're going to enter it, like when he was questioned why Arsenal had entered the Football League Centenary tournament back in, I think it was 1988, 89 season. He got asked, why are Arsenal going in this? Or what's your objective for going in this tournament? Or something like that. And he turned around and said, well, if we're going into a tournament, we're going to try and win it. We're going to aim to win it. And I respect that. I think it's brilliant attitude. No doubt our fans would take umbrage about it, and some of our fans would be saying it's toxic and negative to want the club to be successful, and I just don't get that attitude at all. Early Doors Football TV says, exactly, Danny, we took him on as a youngster. He did his time with us and we thanked him for it. Not where he's going. Yeah, exactly. It's got, I don't understand. Joanne says, I like Arson's statue. I think it's nice. Well, there you go. Joanne knows about these things. She knows about style and grace and all this sort of carry on. So fair play to Joanne. If she says it's nice, then I'm happy to go along with what she says. Early Doors Football TV says, Joanne, the statue of Arteta would only be 3 foot tall. Exactly. And God forbid that he ever gets one. Well, maybe not, but if he wins something of merit, a major trophy, then and does it on a regular, then yeah, it'd be good for him to have one. But I can't see that happening. So if it's for non-football related stuff and it's got nothing to do with Arsenal, I don't really see why he'd be getting a statue. And I certainly don't see why he needs to get a statue now. So there you go. Taib says, I want a time machine with me. I want a time machine with take me back to the 90s written on it. Laugh out loud. Mate, you keep going on about the 90s. It was a legendary time period for football. I'm not going to lie. Certainly, the standard of football back then was a lot higher than it is now. And Taib, I'm going to do a video soon about part 2 of that one that I did with Mr. Collins recently about football in the 80s and 90s. You might enjoy that one, mate. I'll make sure that I send you the link for it when I do it. Joanne Smith says, is Eddie leaving? Any news on it? I don't know. I don't know. I hope that he finds a club and that he can make a success of his career, because I'm sorry, but I just don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. I think that we need to get a better striker than that. And Del Boy says, Joe, I've him still in the back of my van. Yeah, Del Boy kidnapped him and bundled him in the back of his van, apparently. So there you go. Early Doors Football TV, laughing emojis. Yeah, guys, please make sure you subscribe to Del Boy Gunner TV and also to Early Doors Football TV, and make sure you go and check out Del Boy's show from the other night that he did on his channel, which was the match reaction to the Barcelona game. Let me just see if I can get the slide up again. I did for it. There we go. Hold on. Go. Where is it? You hiding, you stupid thing. Yeah, there it is. There it is. That one. The link is the pinned comment in the live chat. So if you click on that, it will take you directly to that video. So go and check that out and make sure you put a thumbs up on the video as well. Great show that Del Boy did. And also soon I'm going to be chatting to this man, Darren Sullivan, the king of Instagram, the one and the only legendary Arsenal fan, the master of the after dark conversations. Yeah, he's a legend, this fella. And I'm going to do one of my interviews with him. And you've probably seen me do this with Early Doors Football TV, with Carl Walsh, the Southern Gooner, and a few other people. So it's I've managed to get Darren to come on and do it as well, and I'm absolutely delighted to say he's up for it. So it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to doing it with him, to be honest. So Game Killer says David Dean needs a statue. Without him, Arsenal wouldn't have been successful during the 90s. That's true, and I'd love to see him come back now and sort out this mess that's Arsenal. Del Boy, laugh out loud. I'll chip in with the fuel. Exactly. Del Boy Gunners, laughing emojis. Danny, Del Boy, laughing emojis. Yeah, he's a legend, Del Boy. He's a really, really funny guy. If Mikhail had a statue, I could dress it up as Coco the Clown. Yes, exactly, Joe, and it wouldn't look out of place. Del Boy, so drive Eddie to Palace and not to the London Stadium. Don't make that detour. Yeah, you don't want him at West Ham then, Tony, no? Game Killer says, Del Boy, are you going to do a reaction show on Wednesday night? Is there a game going on Wednesday? I don't know, but I'm sure Del Boy will answer that. Tony, I wouldn't want to do that to the Hammers. See, there you go. You see, don't worry. Del Boy, always knew you were a real one. If you need help, I'll give you directions, says Tony. Carl Walsh Gunners here. Big up, Warren. You absolute legend, mate. Why is there no George Graham statue, our greatest manager? Mate, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it was because of the way he departed the club. But our current sporting director, our director of football was done far worse things than what George did. But there you go. Danny, football-wise, 90s was shit as it was the rise of Man United, but Serie A was the league to be. Danny, I respect your opinion, mate. But I have to say, I don't agree with you. I think the 90s, the football was way, way better than it is now. Certainly the players were. The only thing is that, like you say, it saw the rise of United, which is an issue in itself. But in terms of the actual football, I think it was way better. Early Doors says, big up Carl Walsh, the top man of a legend. And Danny says, big up Carl Walsh Gunner. Yes, and Danny, you're a top man, by the way. I meant to say that just now, but you are. And I do 100% respect your opinion. And Carl Walsh Gunner says, early doors, my brother. And I can't see what, I think it says clapping or something. I'm not sure. Carl Walsh Gunner, Danny, big up, my man. And Game Killer says, big up the volcano. And Arsenal since 1987, wearing big up. I'm still on my holidays in the Canary Islands. Well, I hope you're enjoying it, mate. And having a great time. I'm sure the weather there is a lot warmer than it is here, that's for sure, because it's not very warm in the southeast of England, let me tell you. Well, not in my opinion, not warm enough for me, not by any stretch of the imagination. And Carl Walsh Gunner says, Game Killer, you legend. He is a legend, absolute top man. Please, guys, as well, make sure you go and check out the Wexford Volcano, otherwise known as Carl Walsh Gunner's YouTube channel. He's an absolute legend. He's a legend. He is the finest. It's honestly, this guy is mad, passionate Arsenal fan. And again, he's another one who's a great mate, and I love him to bits. So there you go. And Danny says, right on, Warren, 90s qualities wise were top of the top, but I just don't like that. In England, it was Man United's time. No, exactly. I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, I don't like United at all. Anyway, let's get back into this and see what's going on with these games, and let's see what's going on. So it's now St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion 2, 36 minutes gone there, and Mirren has extended Stirling Albion's lead at St Johnstone, and the assist for that one came from Hilson. So St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion 2. Lewis Milne, Stirling Albion, right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the centre of the goal, assisted by Dale Hilson. So there we go. Stirling Albion now leading St Johnstone by 2-0. It's unbelievable. I can't understand it. Unless St Johnstone are playing a weakened team for this tournament, but for them to be losing 2-0 at home to Stirling Albion is shocking. It really is. It's shocking. And it's now Falkirk 1, Peterhead 1. Lang has equalised for Falkirk in the 29th minute. That goal was assisted by Spence. So Falkirk 1, Peterhead 1. Tom Lang, Falkirk, header from very close range to the centre of the goal, and it was assisted by Brad Spencer following a set-piece situation. So it's currently Falkirk 1, Peterhead 1. So here we go. And in that game as well, Ryan Strachan, Peterhead, is shown a yellow card for a bad foul. So we need to do this for
your book, son.
Yeah, so that yellow card is for Ryan Strachan, everyone. So it's still Partick Thistle 0, the Spartans 0. Let me put, see if I can get, yeah, that's better. That's what make it easier for me. It's Hamilton Academical 1, Cove Rangers 0, Livingston 0, Clyde 0, and Greenock Morton have taken the lead against Edinburgh City in the 33rd minute. Goal scored by Broadfoot and assisted by Crawford. So it's Greenock Morton 1, Edinburgh City 0. So that goal scored by Kirk Broadfoot which was a header from very close range to the bottom right corner, and it was assisted by Robbie Crawford with a cross following a corner. So it's Greenock Morton 1, Edinburgh City 0. So we need. And also, there was a booking. Ryan Mullen got booked from Greenock Morton. He was shown a yellow card for a bad foul. So here we go. This is for you, mate.
Your book, son.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Right, let's go back. And it's now Ross County 2, Kelty Hearts 1. Murray extended the lead for Ross County in the 29th minute, and that goal was assisted by White. It made it 2-0 to Ross County. And then in the 33rd minute, McCluskey struck for Kelty Hearts to pull a goal back to make it Ross County 2, Kelty Hearts 1. So let's see how those goals went in. So the first goal, 29th minute, Ross County 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Simon Murray of Ross County had a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the centre of the goal, assisted by Jordan White. And then Stefan McCluskey, Kelty Hearts, left-footed shot from a difficult angle on the left to the bottom left corner. So that's made it Ross County 2, Kelty Hearts 1. There we go. So Ross County lead Kelty Hearts by 2-1. So we need to do this. It's still Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Airdrieonians 0 in Group E. And so now in Group F, it's Albion Rovers 0, Kilmarnock 2. Watkins has got that goal for Kilmarnock to give them a 2-0 lead at Albion Rovers. And also in Group F, it's now Annan Athletic 2, Raith Rovers 1. Raith Rovers, as you may remember, took the lead in the 11th minute through a goal from Watson. And then Galloway in the 27th minute and Lucient in the 37th minute have put Annan Athletic 2-1 up. Motherwell now lead East Fife by 2-0. 2 goals in 4 minutes at Motherwell. 1 from Slattery in the 32nd minute and 1 from Wilkinson in the 36th minute have given Motherwell a 2-0 lead over East Fife. So is that. And then, what else have we got here? Let's go and check it out. And also, an East Fife player by the name of Page has seen red. Has he? Let's go and see. Yeah, a guy by the name of Page was sent off in the 43rd minute. So here we go. This is for you, Mr. Page.
That's it. You're off.
Right. Okie doke. So let's go back. And that game currently stands Motherwell 2, East Fife 0. So it's currently Queen's Park 0, Queen of the South 0. It's Arbroath 1, Montrose 0 still. And look at this. St Mirren are absolutely demolishing Forfar Athletic. Lead by 4 goals to 0. So since we were there, Ahara scored in the 42nd minute with a penalty, and Gogic has added another one in the first minute of added on time at the end of the first half. So it's currently St Mirren 4, Forfar Athletic 0. Wow. Look at that absolute pounding, aren't So there we are. So there we go. That's us up to date, I believe. We will come back to that shortly. But, oh my dear, look at all the comments in the chat. I need to get back on this. Where were we? Right, here we are, I think. And Carl says, Warren, I'll be meeting you in September, my brother. Can't wait. No, neither can I, man. It's going to be wild. I'll try and call you over the weekend and talk to you about it a bit more, but I'm absolutely buzzing about it. And I'm even more buzzing the fact you've got tickets for the Arsenal, is it Arsenal Man United game that you've got? They're not easy tickets to get hold of, let me tell you. And Taib says, hi, Carl. And Game Killer, Carl, the only reason why George Graham hasn't gotten a statue is because the Arsenal board doesn't give former Tottenham management. Never mind all the success and the way he revolutionised Arsenal and the way that he brought all those young players into the team who were the bedrock of the club's success for the next God knows how many years. That don't matter though, does it? Nah, don't worry about that. Early Doors Football TV. Do you think the reason why George Graham doesn't have a statue is due to the current owners not knowing the knowledge of former managers and what they did for the club and the fans? Yeah, I think that's got a large part of it, mate. And I think it's got something to do with the way that George left the club as well. You know, all this business with the bungs and whatnot. But I just find that a bit hypocritical given all the shenanigans and nonsense that Edu gets away with. It's shocking. Darren says, afternoon, Ron. I've just finished painting patio slabs after a crash. After a crash tube course. Wow, excellent. Fair play, mate. Fair play. And listen, don't forget, this fella here is going to be on my channel very soon. We're going to be doing one of my chat stroke interviews about Darren's life as a football fan. So that's going to be wild. I'm really looking forward to having a chat with Darren. So please make sure you keep your eyes open for that one. And Carwell's Gunner, Game Killer, the Arsenal board are an absolute disgrace. Our greatest 3 managers in our history, and 2 of them get statues. George was our greatest and nothing. Shocking. Yeah, exactly. 100%, mate. I know. Carl's hat spot on. I'm sorry, but he is. I just don't get. Well, there you go. I mean, afternoon, Darren. I hope they look decent. Can't have a trip hazard. No, 100%. Celtic 1, Wolves 1, says Game Killer. There you go. I suppose it's friendly after all, but I would be surprised to see that game end in a draw. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Carwell's Gunner, big up to legend Darren Sullivan. Carl, you're absolutely right. He is Game Killer, 100% he's right. Danny, greetings and salutations, Darren. And Ron, been earning the candle at both ends. Yeah, I didn't have a good night last night, mate, unfortunately. So that's why. Burning, says it. Yeah, 100%. Afternoon, Carl. Likewise, fella. You legend amongst legends. Make sure as well you go and follow Darren on Instagram and subscribe to the legend that is Carl Walsh's YouTube channel. Absolute top fella. Both of them are top fellas. And make sure you go and check out Darren's latest upload, which was late last night, and I've decided to call it After Dark Conversations with Darren. It's wicked. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Early doors, you're absolutely correct. To tell you the truth, a lot of the current fan base wouldn't know who George was either, mate. I grew up supporting Arsenal under George, and believe me, it was a great time. He was, and he did so much for Arsenal. He really did. He was an absolute legend as a player and as a manager. And Danny says, well, Carl, if there's an Arsenal fan that doesn't know who Graham is, well, that's not an Arsenal fan. Mate, you won't get an argument out of me about that. 100%. It's disgusting. It really is. And this is even more. I'm going to tell you guys something now, and you will not believe this, but it's true. I've heard stories that that so-called fan channel that films outside the Emirates Stadium after every home game, there was loads of these people hanging around and waiting to have their say about the match. And certain legend of this club, Liam Brady, happened to be walking past. Not one of them butted an eyelid. No, not one of them. They were more interested to see what the characters who go on that channel on a regular basis were doing and what they were saying, rather than like go and try and get a photograph or have a chat with Liam Brady. I just find it disgusting. It's wrong. It's no way. There's no way on God's earth that that's right. Carwell's Gunner, Darren, can't wait to hear your conversation with Warren, mate. It's going to be epic. Mate, I can't wait either. I'm really can't wait to hear what Darren's going to have to say, because I love listening to Darren talk. I really do. And make sure you go and check out his After Dark conversation on Instagram that he did last night. It was wild. Early Doors Football says, Cole, Walsh, even though I'm a hammer, I remember George Graham and the team he developed, defensively strong, played good football and made sure teams they knew they had as a game against the Gunners. Exactly. That was the thing. You when he was in control, you wouldn't roll over Arsenal. I mean, we lost a few games, we did, but I don't really remember us getting slapped really badly. One game we did, which was away at United on the first day of the season after winning the title, but I never really remember it happening on a regular. I really don't. Not with George, no. Proper manager. Early doors football TV. Look forward to that, Darren's. Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. Carl Walsh Gunner, early doors. That's 100% correct, buddy. Yeah, he's Carl. Carl Walsh Gunner, Danny. I can't guarantee you there's fans out there that wouldn't know George Gray. All they care about is this clown, Arteta. It makes me sick. Yeah, and Carl, it's getting worse, mate. The disease is spreading. That's why it's like a cancer. It's not being dealt with, so it's going to spread and spread and spread. It needs to be removed and dealt with, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. Early doors football CV says, and add to that, Carl Walsh. Then when Wenger came in, the reason why they were good at the back was because George was back at the back was because if George of Graham, once they retired, that still wasn't the same. It wasn't 100% early doors. Good afternoon, Darren, says Danny. And Danny says, I understand, Carl, but when having passion for a club equals loving its history, not knowing history equals not knowing the club. Yeah. Well, that's what I believe too. Bargav says, big up, Warren. What do you make of the toxic loyalty in our fan base? Yeah, well, I was talking about that a bit earlier. I think I've exhausted that subject. I just find it a bit weird. I just don't get it. I don't. It's just what, and the one that I find even weirder is ones who, like, 1 minute they're saying one thing, the next minute they're saying something else, the next minute they're saying something else again, and they just can't seem to make their mind up. I just don't get it. Game Killer says Boreham Wood 2, Arsenal 1, or Arsenal at half time. Lord, it must be a reserve team, surely, or youth team, but it's only pre-season games, so it don't really matter. So, Carl Gunner, unfortunately, Danny, some of our current fan base don't care about the history of our club, bro, which is very sad, mate. They don't. They're only interested in immediates. Game Killer says Celtic 1, Wolves 1 full time. There you go. Some pre-season games, so that was always going to happen, in my opinion. But I hope that the people who attended the game got their money's worth and they enjoyed the match. Early Doors Football TV says, big up, Bargav. I thought the Arsenal fan base was toxic and delusional, but I went on a Spuds channel for a laugh, and they're mad, arguing with each other. If they were in the same room, a fight happens. Jesus Christ, is it that bad? Oh dear, oh Lord. Bargav says, early doors TV. Yeah, I noticed they've come up with the same sledges with each other. F off down the Emirates, F off down the lane. Exactly. It's pretty funny, isn't it? Bargav, that club's finished anyways. Chelsea fans split over Mount is another. United, Liverpool tend to be pretty mellow. No, but there's been if you listen to Niall from the upper tier, absolute top fella, by the way, and I did a show with him recently, one of these interviews that went on nearly 3 hours. Go and check that out because that man's got some unbelievable stories. Go and check him out. He's wild. He really is. His stories are unreal. So go and check him out as well because he's a massive Liverpool fan, and he told me that last season it got to the point where there was a lot of finger pointing and whatnot there as well. Bargav, that club's done that. Car Wash Gunner says, Warren, I was talking to Sammy Nelson, mate, and Arsenal fans just walked by. I didn't even know him. It's disgusting. Sammy Nelson, right? I got a story about him, right? He played in an evening game, right? And it was I don't know if it was a cup game or I think it was a league game at Highbury. Anyway, so in the first, I think it was against Coventry City. I don't know why I've got Coventry City in my head, but they were a first division club back then. Anyway, in the first half, Sammy Nelson scores an own goal and he started getting jip off the fans. Then he goes up the other end and he equalises in his own. He equalises, makes it 1-1. To celebrate, he runs down in front of the North Bank and pulls his shorts down and bears his arse to the North Bank. Absolute quality. And funnily enough, that weekend, the following weekend, there was a home game as well. And some fella, some joker jumped out of the North Bank. I think this is hilarious, right? He jumped out of the North Bank, ran up to the centre circle and dropped his trousers in front of the North Bank and bared his arse to the North Bank. Absolutely hilarious stuff. I think that guy is so funny. And Erins Jones says this is a bit worrying with Arsenal at the moment. I'm beginning to think they're all sitting back and thinking we've made some big signings or work for the window is done. Well, I'm sorry, no, I don't think it is done. I think we still need more, but I don't think that we're gonna make any more signings. We might make one more, but given Arsenal's, if you look back at the history, what we've done in the last few years, then we always just don't do enough and get the final piece of the jigsaw to do what's required. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't make any further signings. So there you go, Bargav. That's what I think. Sorry, Anurin, that's what I think, mate. So yeah, I tend to agree with you there. And Bargav says, "We'll do, Warren." Well, fair play. Right, so let's get back into this, see what's going on with these games. And there's been more goals there. Let's go and check that out. So there's been a third goal for Ayr United. It's now Ayr United 3, Alloa Athletic 0. Murphy has got added a third one in the first minute of added on time at the end of the first half. So fair play to right. Where was I? Yeah, that's what I was doing. Let's get. Okay, so it's now Falkirk 2, Peterhead 1. McIver has put Falkirk 2-1 up in the second minute of added on time at the end of the first half. So it's now Falkirk 2. And there's another goal just gone in. Asia Man has just added a third one in the 47th minute. So it's now Falkirk 3, Peterhead 1. So we need to do. And then it's still Partick Thistle 0, the Spartans 0. And what we got here? It's Hamilton Academical 1, Cove Rangers 1, Livingston 0, Clyde 0, Greenock Morton 1, Edinburgh City 0, Ross County 2, Kelty Hearts 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Airdrieonians 0, Albion Rovers 0, Kilmarnock 2, Annan Athletic 2, Raith Rovers 2, Motherwell 2, East Fife 0, Queen's Park 0, Queen of the South 0, and there's been some developments in that game. So here we go.
That's it. You're off.
And in that game, Queen's Park 0, Queen of the South 0. Fox has seen red. Queen's Park at home in that game, and incidentally, for those of you who don't know, they play their home games at the National Stadium at Hampden Park. So he's been sent off. So it's Queen's Park 0, Queen of the South 0. And we've got in Group H, it's currently Arbroath 1, Montrose 0. And it's St Mirren 4, Forfar Athletic 0. So it's about 50 minutes gone in all of those games. They're just into the early stages of the first half there. So that there is Del Boy Gunner's stream for the Arsenal Barcelona live match reaction show that he did on Thursday. The link for that show is in the live chat at the top of the live chat. It's the pinned comment. And I've also put it in the description of the video. The reason is because I think it was a great show and a lot of interesting debate and discussion was had. So please make sure you go and check it out and make sure you put a like on the video. It was brilliant. I really, really, really enjoyed that show. It was a great one. So make sure you go and check it out. And as ever, Del Boy hosted it brilliantly and he asked some thought-provoking questions of the panel. So yeah, it was great. Really, really good. Anyway, so let's get back into the chat. And we've got Carl Walsh Gunner saying, class story, Warren. Yeah, man, it was funny. It was funny. The whole thing from start to end, it was hilarious. And Early Doors says, I think Arteta has recognised that the squad is still incomplete. So I'm sure there will be something, but more likely at the last day of the transfers. I don't doubt that you're right, mate. I don't. And hopefully he's noted that we need a striker, but I'm not sure that we're going to get a striker because I think he thinks that area's quite covered quite well. But the good news about it, though, is what I heard the other day that Thomas Partey is going to be staying. I think currently, in my opinion, he's Arsenal's best player. I do. I think he's Arsenal's best player. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I think he's Arsenal's best player, and I think having him and Rice in the midfield together will be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to see how and if that works. And Erwin Jones says, if we don't address the striker position, then they need to be shot. Why the hell we're not going after Kane is beyond me. Sign him and even Ivan Toney. Sell Nketiah and may move Jesus into midfield or move him out onto the wing. Yeah, that's what I would like. I'd like to see Arsenal go in and make a cheeky £120 million bid for Harry Kane. Why not? Why not? Just go in there and say to Tottenham, there you go. There's £120 million for Harry Kane, right? The fella, at the end of this upcoming season, is going to be able to leave the club for Tottenham for free, right? So, but if Arsenal do that, it puts Tottenham in a really, really difficult position. It really does. So, it does. It puts them in a really difficult position. So, what do? You know, if you're Tottenham and someone's just offered you 120 million for a player that's going at the end of the season on a free, but it happens to be your biggest rival, what are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? It's, I just find it hilarious. If Arsenal were to do that, it would really rattle Tottenham. I don't think there's any way that they would sell him to us, but it would really rattle them, and it would send out a strong message, especially if details of the bid got made public. It would really rattle them, and it would put the massive wind up them. It really would. Carl Walsh Gunner, until we have a genuine striker, forget winning anything this season. I agree with Carl. I do, because I don't think that Jesus is clinical enough. We need to get a clinical striker. But I think that Arteta, wants to set the team up so that they have the main striker isn't solely the one that scores the goals. I think he's quite happy for the chip in with max 10 goals. What I think he's more interested in doing is causing confusion and mayhem in the opposition box, pulling people out of position so that the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, or whoever is filling in those roles, can just run into the box, into space, and score goals. That's what I think. I think that's what he's more interested that the striker does, because that's one thing that Jesus does do really well. He pulls people out of position, causes confusion in the opposition penalty area and panic. And that's what you need if you're going to have people coming in off the wings or from deep midfield positions into the box to pounce on confusion and mayhem in the opposition's box. And I think that's what he's trying to do. Do I think it's as effective as having a main striker who's going to bag you 20, 25 goals? Probably not, but there you go. Anurin Jones says, early doors football TV. Well, if we have any ambition, we'll try and hijack the deal. We won't, though, as they have no ambition. Yeah, well, we know that's true, Anurin. I just don't see it happening. I'd love Arsenal to do it. I really would, but I'm not sure that they would. Anurin, totally agree with you that if you don't act fast, you're going to be lacking firepower up top. Exactly. And my question, someone asked this question earlier. How many times has a team without a proper striker gone on and won the Premier League or a Champions League? I can't remember one. I think maybe Man City last season, the season before last, did it. But other than that, I don't think any team's ever done it. Chelsea just agreed deal to sign midfielder Leslie Ogochukwu from Rennes, 23 million. He's only 19. No laughing, Taib, at my pronunciation, by the way. I'm only joking, mate. But Chelsea have signed a deal, a £23 million deal to sign a midfielder from Rennes. Oh, my goodness. Anurin says, I'd also strengthen the midfield, get rid of El Neni and Lokonga, get Caicedo and another top-class midfielder. I'd also strengthen the defence, get rid of Gabriel and Holding and get a top-class centre-back. I don't think I'd get rid of Gabriel, but the rest of it, I completely agree with you. And I want to see at least one top quality centre back, a proper centre back come in. At least one. Early Doors says Caicedo's agents going to have a meeting with Brighton to talk about reducing the fee they want for him. I'd like to be a fly on the wall when that happens. And if I was Brighton, I know exactly what I'd be saying to him if they tried that with me. I'd be going, well, hold on a minute. We will decide how much we ask for our player. Thank you very much. It's not for you to sit there and tell us how to conduct our transfer business. Thank you very much. And I think Arsenal should go in there with a cheeky bid and go and get him. I really do. Anurin said, I'd also move Zinchenko into midfield and go and get someone like Cucurella as competition for Tierney. I'd get rid of all the right backs and top class right backs in I'd get rid of all the I'd get rid of all the right backs and get top right class right backs in. Oh yeah, no, I see. I understand now. I didn't quite read that properly to start with. Yeah, that would be a great move, but I think Tierney's days, unfortunately, at Arsenal are numbered. I think he's gonna. I think he'll end up either at Newcastle or he might end back at Celtic. I've heard that from people I know, because as you all know, I'm also a massive Celtic fan, and I've got friends who are close to. They have more. Let's say that they have a lot more knowledge of what's going on, and that Tierney has had conversations. Well, Brendan Rodgers has approached Tierney about coming back, and sounds like Tierney's quite positive about the prospect. And he said that he'd be prepared to take a pay cut to make it happen, and a big pay cut like that. So that just tells you all you need to know, really. He's not happy at Arsenal. He's not going to be given a chance, in my opinion. I think the club should just let him go. Unfortunately, he's still got quite a long time left on his contract. I think he's got about another 3 years, because otherwise, if I was his agent, I'd be saying to him, just let your contract run down and then walk out on the free, because then it would help Celtic to be able to get him, because they wouldn't have to pay a transfer fee, and they'd be able to offer him more money in wages. So, but it's not going to happen for another 3 years. I think it won't happen then. But I think come the start of the season, he won't be at Arsenal. Well, the end of the transfer window, let's say. That's more like it. And Urin says, in terms of Gabriel, he's too inconsistent for my liking. Rock solid one game, and then makes too many sloppy mistakes the next. Yeah, I think you're probably right, actually, on Urin, thinking about it. He has got a tendency to make mistakes, but when he's good, he's excellent. That's the thing. And I think this goes back to one of the big problems at this football club. It's the coaching. And I don't know who was saying it earlier, they hadn't seen Arteta improve one player since he's been at Arsenal, and I have to say I agree with them. And this is one of the reasons I want him out the door, because I don't think he knows how to coach people properly. Or he certainly his coaching team done. I don't think it's necessarily all down to him, because he has a team of coaches. He's not the only one on the coaching field, but on the training field when they're coaching players. So it's not just down to him. But I think we need to look at the way the club coaches its players, and there's lots of other issues that I believe need to get addressed at Arsenal if we're gonna be competitive. Early Doors says Gabriel will have too many mistakes in him this season, needs to improve, as it showed he's not a leader, especially when Saliba was injured. That's very true, actually, Tony. You're 100% right, mate. Anurin says we also need to get a top-class keeper in and have Ramsdale as backup, as Ramsdale's good, but he's not world-class. He isn't. I think he's got the potential to be world-class, but whether he'll actually do it or not, I don't know. It worries me when I see the team consistently over a period of time conceding 2s and 3s, and it's not just one-off game. It happens a lot. And since that game at Anfield where we drew 2-2 with Liverpool, you might look at the amount of times that we conceded over a 1-goal game. It's quite worrying, really. Look at the amount of goals we conceded. I'm not saying that's all down to him, but he plays a part in it. But a lot of it is to do with the way that the team's set up, and he is being exposed. He's not being protected properly because the tactical system that is being used isn't that great, in my opinion. This business of the inverted fullbacks, it just, for me, it's leaving us way too wide open at the back. So Anurin says, unfortunately, Tierney has a no-nonsense personality, calls out any BS, and Arteta can't handle it. Anurin, you're 100% right. The problem is that Arteta can't manage people properly. He's got really poor man management skills, in my opinion, and it's another reason why I want rid of him. He's never had good man management skills, and he hasn't improved in that aspect of his job. So he's got to go. It's simple as that. He's just 5, maybe over 4 years without winning anything, and only last season he only managed to get ahead of Unai Emery, his predecessor, this season. This current season that's just gone. It's shocking. Henry says, afternoon, Warren, I hope you're good. You too, mate, and I'm glad to see you didn't pack up your bags, so to speak, recently. So keep it up, man. Keep going. And Early Doors Football TV, afternoon, Henry. And Henry says, big up, Tony. And Urin Jones, it'll be interesting to see what the excuses of half the fan base. It'll be interesting to see what the excuses half of the fan base fall for when we do bugger all this window. For years, it was paying off the stadium. Then it was no Champions League. What's it going to be now? There was, I reckon they'll just say, well, we didn't need anyone else. That's what I think. I think they'll like big it up and say, yeah, it's fine. It's not a problem. We've got what we need. Don't worry about it. Stop being negative. Get behind the team. All this carry on. And that's what they're going to say. I'm sure of it. Don't worry about it and just get behind the team. Just be happy. What can you do? Yeah. They'll always think of some excuse. Let's put it like that. And I think what we're going to see this season as well, that as the season goes on, and if we're not competitive in the league and we're not competitive in the cup competitions, then the excuses will become more and more ridiculous and more desperate as the season goes on. Because I'm telling you, I'm convinced of this. There are people out there who are more concerned about paid employees at this football club's careers and their social media accounts than they are about the football club. And I find that disgusting. I do. I find it absolutely disgusting that people would have that attitude. I mean, why would you place more importance on your own social media account than what's right for the football club? Do you know what I mean? I just find it staggering. I really do. But that's what people want to do. Let them. That's what I think. And honestly, I have to say as well that I don't think that Arsenal are going to sack Arteta. I just don't see it happening. I just don't. I just don't think that they will do it. I think that he's doing everything that the Cronkies want him to do. So the problem at the club for me, that's why I think the big problem at the club is two things. It's the owners and it's the fan base. That's the big problem because they're the two people that can affect change. The fans have shown that they're not interested in getting the Cronkies out. They're not interested in getting Arteta out. So the Cronkies aren't going to do anything until the fans start kicking off. You saw what happened when the end of the fag end of the Wenger era, when fans stopped going to the games, there's all the empty seats, there was people fighting each other and whatnot in the stands. So the owners took action. But other than that, unless that sort of situation repeats itself, what I can't see, then I don't think it's going to change. Henry saying I have 164 subs. Brilliant. Fair play, Henry. And everyone, please go and make sure you subscribe to Henry Ray Baker. Top lad. Excellent channel. Please go and subscribe to him. Henry, that John Sinclair fella, that if that's his name, is a strange one. I don't know. I've never had an issue with him, to be honest, Tony, but I don't know. I don't know what that's all about, to be frank. Hi, Henry. We need a good DM before 23-24 starts. Henry says, big up, Danny. Anurin will probably get battered in the Champions League by Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, etc. And then the fan base will go, well, it's the first season back. What do you expect? Exactly. That's what I think is going to happen as well. Early doors football. Henry, I'm 99 behind you now. 265 now, Henry. Excellent. Come on. 165 subs on me, Danny. Wow. Excellent. Well done, Danny. Henry says, thank you, VM Tony. You are a legend, but what about the 1%? Laugh out loud. I don't know what that's all about, but fair play. Laughing emojis, Henry. Henry, I'm getting bots from a guy called John Partridge. Just delete them. Henry, thank you, Danny. That's the name, John Partridge, not Sinclair. Yeah, I thought it was a bit weird because I've never had a problem with John Sinclair. I don't know who John Partridge is. He's probably not even he's probably a bot. So, yeah, just delete them. MP Henry, No problem, Henry, says Danny. And Urid says, and then maybe when we miss out on top 3, they'll finally wake up to the fact he's not good enough and want him gone. But it wouldn't surprise me, as the standards will be better next season. Listen, I don't think it matters what Arteta does. This fan base aren't going to call for him to be sacked because they're too invested in him. That's what I think. I really do. Why? I've got no idea. I really don't understand it. But I don't see it happening. Early Doors says laughing emojis. Warren, thank you, fella. I'd love 265 by the end of the year, though. Yeah, it'd be great, mate. And just keep doing what you're doing and try not to focus on the amount of subs you got. That's, if I can give you one bit of advice, that's what I would say, because otherwise it just gets too stressful. Early Doors says it will be a harder season, I believe, for most clubs. So, yeah, I think so, because I think the level is going to go up a bit. Henry says, can FSG take KSE with them? Laugh out loud. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? But there you go. Anyway, so let's get on back to this, see what's going on. Blimey, look at this. Ayr United are now 5-0 up at home to Alloa Athletic. Pendlebury scored in the 70th minute for Ayr United. So it's Ayr United 5, Alloa Athletic 0. It's St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion 4. And the 4th goal went in from McLean, who got one in the 48th minute as well. So 54th minute from McLean. So it's now St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion 4. Wow, that St Johnstone team, surely it's got to be a youth team or something, because I'm pretty sure they were in the Premiership last season. And also, looks like Alloa Athletic have had a player sent off, Hetherington, in the 73rd minute. So
That's it. You're off.
The ref has spoken. There he goes. I didn't even have to do anything. And he just popped up and went, Bosh, son, have that. And look at this. It's Falkirk 4, Peterhead 1. Miller has added a 4th goal in the 56th minute. So it's Falkirk 4, Peterhead 1.
That's it. You're off.
No, it wasn't. Sorry about that, guys. No one else has been sent off. Well, I don't think they have. So, yeah, Falkirk 4, Peterhead 1. It's Partick Thistle 1, the Spartans 0. And finally, Partick Thistle have broken the deadlock in the 52nd minute thanks to Leon. It's Partick Thistle 1, Spartan 0. And it's currently Hamilton Academical 1, Cove Rangers 0. Burrell scored in the 60th minute to put Cove Rangers in front. So it's Cove Rangers 2, Hamilton Ackies 1. And it's now Livingston 1, Clyde 0. Livingston have taken the lead in the 70th minute by Anderson. So Livingston 1, Clyde 0. It's now Greenock Morton 2, Edinburgh City 0. King in the 75th minute puts Greenock Morton 2-0 up. Sorry, it's Crawford who put Greenock Morton 2-0 up, and King has added a third in the 75th minute as we were talking. So it's now Greenock Morton 3, Edinburgh City 0. And then what else have we got on the go here? And it's Ross County 2, Kelty Hearts 2. And an equaliser there from Kelty Hearts from Blabby in the 57th minute. So it's Ross County 2, Kelty Hearts 2. Looking at these scores, I'm pretty convinced some of these Premiership clubs like Ross County and Livingston and St Johnstone and whatnot, I reckon they're playing reserve teams or youth team players in these games. I really do, because it don't make any sense. Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Airdrieonians 1. O'Connor scores in the 73rd minute from the penalty spot. So there you go. Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Airdrieonians 1. O'Connor has put Airdrieonians 1-0 up there. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. The internet just went down there for a few minutes, so sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. The internet just went down there for a few minutes, so sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't need to hear my voice and echo. I had the show on my phone as well, so sorry about that. Anyway, where were we? Put that back in and screen. And it's now Albion Rovers 1, Kilmarnock 2. Joseph has pulled a goal back for Albion Rovers in the 62nd minute. And then Vaughan has given Raith Rovers the lead in their game at Annan Athletic. It's now Raith Rovers 3, Annan 2 at Annan's ground. 81 minutes gone there. So and it's Motherwell 3, East Fife 0 still. It's Queen's Park 0, Queen of the South 2. Cochrane has added a second goal for Queen of the South. They lead 2-0 at the National Stadium. Queen's Park's home. So it's Queen's Park 0, Queen of the South 2. And it's now in Group H. It's now Arbroath 3, Montrose 0. Bird has added a third goal after Tuan added a second one in the 70th minute. Dunwald Turan, sorry. Is it Turan? Yeah. So it's Dunwald Turan made it 2-0 for Arbroath. And then Bird made it 3-0. So it's Arbroath 3, Montrose 0. And in the other game in Group H, it's still St Mirren 4, Forfar 0. So obviously they've decided that the game's done half time, which it surely was. The 4-0 up, done, dusted, so they could just like sort of, not down tools, but just sort of not really go for it. Just make sure they don't do anything stupid. Don't pick up any injuries to key players, and relax a wee bit, because the game was clearly won 4-0 up at half time. You're not going to lose that unless something crazy happens. So there you go. So it's Mirren 4-0 up at home to Forfar Athletic, and it's Arbroath 3, Montrose 0. Goals from Dunwald, Turan in the 70th minute, and Bird in the 79th minute, putting Arbroath 3-0 up at home to Montrose. So there we go. That's that. Not long to go. It's about 10, 12 minutes to go. Let's see. We've got Partick, Thistle and Spartans. Henderson has just equalised for the Spartans at Partick Thistle to make it 1-1. 81 minutes gone there. So the Spartans have equalised thanks to Henderson. And what else have we got? Let's just check this out. I think that's it. I don't think there's been any goals. Other goals. No. Right. No. So there we go. That's it. So we're up to date there. And here he is, the main man himself, Liverpool's finest fan, the upper tier. Fair play to you, Noel. I hope you're well, mate. Lovely to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great day, mate. And he says, big up, Warren, and the chat. And Henry Ray, please don't take any offence to that. I was just having a bit of banter with Noel, really. That would be a great summer, Warren. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it would. And just keep banging away, keep trying. Danny says, big up, Noel. We need three. We three need a good DM. Yeah, and I think you might be getting one soon by the looks of it. But like I said, I think you could do worse than getting Matteo Guendouzi into your club. I really rate that fella. I think it's absolutely shocking that he was allowed to leave Arsenal. But still, when you got Mikel Arteta managing the team, anything can happen. Anyway, otherwise, better move on because otherwise I'll be the next one that I'll get categorized as being negative and negative. Yeah, right, mate. Anyway, Henry Ray Baker, big up Noel the Corker. I love that lad. No, but he's from Dublin, mate. He's not from Cork. That's just a joke, by the way. And Erin says, top four, I meant to say. It's no wonder we've declined over the years with his fan base. Fans, Real Madrid, Barcelona, etc. kick off after one second place finish. Yeah, our fans just back endless mediocrity. That's it. If Barcelona or Real Madrid had had the season that we'd had this year, then there would have been riots. Our fans, on the other hand, are demanding there is a parade for us fans to show appreciation for them finishing second. And that there is the massive difference between those three clubs, right? That is why those clubs are serial winners and win trophies year after year after year, particularly in Real Madrid's case, right? That's why they win trophies year after year after year, because fans will just not accept that sort of nonsense. Here, on the other hand, you've got a fan base who think it's perfectly acceptable for Arsenal to finish second, perfectly acceptable to give up an 8-point lead and end up finishing 14 or 15 points behind the leaders or whatever it was. 15-point turnaround. 13-point have a 13-point turnaround and deem that to be acceptable. And yeah, I just find it staggering. I really do. And anyone who calls it out is seen as being negative. It's like, what? And my question to those people would be, why is it negative to demand success for your club? Why is it negative to want the club to win trophies and be successful? I would argue that the ones who are being negative are the ones who are backing this mediocrity, and they seem to be growing by the day. I just don't understand it. I'll never understand it. And for me, that's not being an Arsenal fan. That's being a fan of the establishment. But maybe it's because these people like the establishment in all their walks of life. I don't know. I just don't get it. Henry Ray Baker says, rusty buttons, I guess, Warren. Love that, lad. Yeah, probably, mate. Can't wait for the Van Rama National League to kick off next weekend at 3 p.m, says Henry. There you go. Big up early. Hope you're well. Says Niall. And early doors football. Tony says, I'm good now, thank you. And Tony also comes in. Just seen True Gunners TV. His title, Arsenal fans comparing Mikel Arteta to Alex Ferguson, laughing emojis. Oh my God, please tell me they haven't done that. Jesus Christ. These fans are a joke. Henry Ray Baker, and this is why Arsenal Football Club, well, their fans are a laughing stock. Now, people laugh at Arsenal fans, and this is why, because of this nonsense. You know, I remember seeing, was it Liam Gallagher saying that when he wanted to have something to laugh at, he would put Arsenal fan TV on, and he's right. He's right. He's 100% right. And he said Arsenal have got more fan channels than anything else. And he's right. And 90% of them talk absolute bollocks. They do. I'm sorry, but they do. Henry Ray Baker, Warren has frozen. Yeah, the internet went down, mate. Sorry. And the upper tier says the aliens got Warren. Yeah, they're not happy with me because I keep exposing them. Early doors football. He's 50p's. Exactly, Tony. Putting 50p's in the meter. And Henry Ray Baker, laugh out loud, Tony. And the upper tier says, surround sound, baby. Exactly, mate. That's what it was all about. Henry Ray Baker, no need to apologise. Mine went down yesterday. It's shocking, though, isn't it? It really is. And Urin says, our fan base does my head in. Half of them have no standards. They just want to be toxic, positive about everything the club does. And anyone that speaks a bit of truth, they deem you as not a true fan. Exactly. They do. And they call you out as not being a true fan. You get labelled as being negative. But I'm sorry, these people that are saying this nonsense and crap, because it is nonsense and crap, right? They're the negative ones because they're holding the club back. And to be quite honest with you, I just wish they'd all fuck off because I can't stand them. Absolute fucking pricks, a lot of them. Danny says, Guendouzi has an engine but no vision of play, in my opinion. Fair play, mate. Fair play. I just really like the fella. I like his enthusiasm and his attitude. I think it's spot on. And any other man, a top-class manager, the likes of Alex Ferguson, would have made him a captain. He would. Henry Ray Baker, wrong direction, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're referring to, mate, but never mind. Saw him in lots of games of Marseille last season, and the majority doesn't rate him, to be honest. It's interesting because he manages to get into the French national team squad. So I don't know how he manages to do that, but still, he does manage to get in the French. He got into the French national team World Cup squad, so he can't be doing it that much wrong. Henry Ray Baker channel, but I get what you mean. I just like his attitude. And what was that? Henry Ray Baker says La Liga is way too easy. No other team isn't good enough. But the problem is he's very opinionated, and some managers can't cope with him. Arteta being one. But for me, a top-class manager would know how to handle him. So, I don't know. I mean, I think with the right manager, I think he would come on leaps and bounds. I mean, yeah, I think he'd come on leaps and bounds. And, you know, there's obviously, he's got talent because otherwise he wouldn't have got picked up by the French national team. But I think you're probably right, actually, Danny. And the upper tier says, big up, Danny, and big up, Henry. And Mirren says they literally put sentiment before what's best for the club, and their Cronky's perfect customers, who they've preyed on since the day they bought the club. Exactly, mate, because they brainwashed them. That's the problem. And I'm telling you something as well. There are fans in this fan base, I'm absolutely certain of this, who are being paid by the Cronkies to get into other fans' heads through like their social media platforms. I'm convinced of it because I think I've seen it happen. So, and I've spoken to other Arsenal fans, and they think the same as me about it. So, Danny says, told my 7-year-old son to support Real Madrid. Biggest cabinet AOU there, but it was not an obligation. No, I think you're right as well, mate. You're absolutely right. Henry says, laugh out loud, Danny. Henry laughing emojis. And Heavyweight Baker, is that including interest? 50% plus 10 for the meter now. I guess so, yeah. And Henry says, got a cork on the brain. Maybe it's Ivan that lives in Cork. Laugh out loud. I don't know who Ivan is, so I'm not sure, mate. Anuri says, and unfortunately now they've got the biggest fan channel on board in AFTV, getting them in the meetings, etc. We're going nowhere due to the amount of people on a global scale that fall for it. Yeah, exactly, because they're brainwashing them with the PR and the marketing and all the rest of it. I believe that's happening. I really do. I tell you what, anyone who doubts this, go and watch the Southern Gooners show. He did a brilliant show about Arsenal's PR machine in full flow. Go and check it out because he shows a couple of clips where an ex-Arsenal player, Stuart Robson, absolute legend of a man, told this TV channel that he was being interviewed by that he got told that if he wanted to get on a job with Arsenal or a certain media company, that he would have to portray the club in a positive light, never mind what his opinion was. That tells you that they do it. 100% they do. Danny, possible Warren, Guendouzi with that engine and a manager that can open his eyes. We never know. No, well, that's true, mate. Sadly, I don't think it'll happen, but could have happened to Arsenal if we'd had a decent manager, because I reckon if he'd been managed by Ferguson with that Brighton situation, Ferguson would have made him captain, 100%. He wouldn't have bounced him out of the club. He would have just taken him to one side and said, listen, we're going to do something to make it look like I'm disciplining you, but keep it up some. Well done. That's what would have happened. The upper tier says, light up those likes and subs, people. Yeah, anyone who hasn't subscribed to this channel before, please make sure you do. Hit the likes as well for me. Smash it, lick it, and strangle it. Do whatever you need to get it up. So let's see what's going on in this football. Where are we? So it's currently Group A. It's Ayr United 5, Alloa Athletic 0, St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion 4. Just let me hit the refresh button a minute. Okay, so there you go. Look, it's finished. Ayr United 6, Alloa Athletic 0. So Rose got the final goal in the 84th minute for Ayr United, and it ended St Johnstone 0, Stirling Albion 4. It ended Falkirk 4, Peterhead 1, and Partick Thistle 2, the Spartans 1 in Group B. Currently in Group C, it's Hamilton Academicals 2, Cove Rangers 2, and it's gone to a penalty shootout. And it's Livingston 1, Clyde 0. Group D, it's ended Greenock Morton 4, Edinburgh City 1. It ended Ross County 3, Kelty Hearts 3, and there's a penalty shootout in progress there. Brown added a goal in the 86th minute for Ross County to make it 3-2 to the men from Dingwall, but then Kelty Hearts equalised and then third minute of added on time at the end of the 90 to make it 3-3. So we now got a penalty shootout. Group E, it ended Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Airdrieonians 1. Group F, it ended Albion Rovers 1, Kilmarnock 2. And it ended Annan Athletic 2, Raith Rovers 3. And in Group G, it ended Motherwell 0, East Fife 0. And it ended Queen's Park 1, Queen of the South 2. And it ended Group H, Arbroath 3, Montrose 0. And St Mirren 4, Forfar Athletic 0. So there's penalty shootouts going in 2 games, which is Hamilton Academicals against Cove Rangers. And so let's see. And Cove Rangers have won 4-2 on penalties in that one. So they get the bonus point. And let's see what's happening with this one. And see what the score is with penalties. Let's see if my because then they're not giving me the score on penalties. So looks like Kelty Hearts have won by 4-3 in. See. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like it's ended 4-3 on penalties to Kelty Hearts. So let's have a look at the tables. Let's go back and look at the league tables, the group tables, I should say. Okay, so what have we got here? So Ayr United have won Group A with 11 points, 1 point clear Stirling Albion. St Johnstone, Stenhouse Muir and Alloa Athletic are eliminated. Partick Thistle have won Group B. Livingston have won Group C. Ross County won Group D. And Group E, Airdrieonians have won Group E. Kilmarnock have won Group F. And Motherwell have won Group G. And Group H was won by St Mirren on goal difference from Forfar Athletic. So, as the rules of the competition state, it's the 5, 1, 2, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So it's the 8 group winners plus 3 best runners-up. So let's see who the 3 best runners-up are. Looks like it possibly could be Stirling Albion. Yeah, so Stirling Albion are 1 of the 3 best runners-up. And then Hamilton Academicals are in the running. So are Greenock Morton. So are Raith Rovers. So right, okay. So here we go. We've got 3 best runners up are Hamilton Academicals. No, not Hamilton Academicals. It could be Greenock Morton, definitely. And it's between Raith Rovers and Hamilton Academicals. So I'd say goal difference first come into it. So Hamilton Academicals have got a +3 goal difference. And so have Raith Rovers. So it's going to go to goals scored, I'd say. So goals scored, Raith have scored 8. And Hamilton Academicals have scored 7. So I reckon it's the last one is Raith Rovers. And now they will go into the pot with the 5 teams that are in Europe next season from the Scottish Premiership, which is, I believe, Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, Celtic, and Rangers. So that's it. So there we go. That's it. Let's close that down. And let's go through the rest of this chat. And Anurin says exactly, Yardman so outspoken. I don't know how he puts up with it. Him, Dan Potts, Turkish and league judges need to come off it ASAP. 100% they do. If they've got any sense, they would. Henry, yes. Danny says, Henry, yes, they are, but they are winners with the biggest trophy cabinet. Yeah. And there's a reason why it's like that. Henry says yes, because they were already winning before Barca came on the scene. Right, okay. I'm not sure that's strictly true, but still. Early doors, Anurin Yardman won't come off it as he KOW, he's getting airtime, but agree he shouldn't put up with the shite thing they give him. 100% he shouldn't, Tony. I agree with you, mate. Game killer, Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 1, full time. There you go. Never mind. It's only a pre-season, I guess. It's probably the youth team. Anurin says, it does my head in the way these people treat Lee Gunner. His opinion trigger them so much. It's getting to the point they're more interested in trying to cancel him than what's best for the club. Exactly. And that's the problem. You've got a group of fans running around thinking they can tell people what they need to do and what they don't need to do, and think that they've got the right to dictate what people do and say and whatnot. No, you ain't got no right. Stick to what you're doing and don't worry about anyone else. For fuck's sake, honestly, these people make me want to throw up. Early doors football, Lee Gunner is very opinionated, and that's what they don't like, because he will get the limelight and not them. That's why they don't like him. Exactly, because they're jealous. Henry says, I can understand that, Tony. And Anurin says, early doors football TV, exactly. Anyone who has a big following they see as a threat to their delusional lamb brains, They did it with AFT for years, and now they've moved on to League Gunner. 100% they have. It's because he's successful, and what he does really well, and they don't like it. They can't handle it. Total idiots, Anurin says early doors. Yeah, 100%, mate. Well said, Tony. Turkish puts it up with it because fella getting walks in the States on AFT money. That big six streams are cheaper, are cheap banter. 100%. You won't get me arguing with you with that. Henry says we have the same issue at LFC. There you go. I think we'll end it there. Anyway, guys, listen, thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, I'm doing something I'm going to record a show on Monday with Darren, and then I'll be putting it out hopefully before the end of the week. So keep your eyes open for that. And listen, thanks ever so much for everyone for tuning in. Please make sure you put a like on the video before you leave. Please make sure, if you're new, to subscribe to the channel. Please take care of yourselves, and don't let anyone tell you how to support your team. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again really, really soon. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone. Bye.